Well, the Cinderella story is just a week away, Benny. Eagles make their third grand final in a decade, coming up against the Hawks for the second time in their history. And geez, could you get any more excited about it? Welcome to Eagle Review. Got my co-host with me, run through the game now. It's been a long time coming, but they've gone from ninth to a grand final. Can you believe it?
I know, Cinderella story, as you say, first grand final since 2006. A lot of people didn't even have us in the 8 at the start of the year, Thumper. I don't know who to look at, but there's a few about, so eggs on their face a little bit. But look, one more to go, hopefully, mate, and it'll be a wonderful fairy tale year. It
was a nerve-wracking start, absolutely, from a West Coast perspective. Fans on the edge of their seats. North Melbourne really came to play. They jumped out of the blocks as expected. They're tackling pressure. And really, they just smashed us in every area all over the ground.
They were real good. They came with intent, and geez, late in the first, early in the second, if a couple of things went their way, it could have been a very, very different story. But geez, hats off to them because they've had a wonderful year from 8th, it must be said as well. So great effort from the Roos, but lucky to get through.
Absolutely. There was a moment where Sam Butler intercepted a mark inside 50, and they even had a shot late in the piece to extend the margin. So a few things fell our way, absolutely. Brad Shepherd, Shara Wellingham, probably easily the best two on the ground, in my opinion, from the defensive half. Both complemented each other very well on the day, in fact the entire season. Talk to me about their games and what they brought to the table.
Well, what they bring to the table is terrific teamwork down back, and everyone talks about the Eagles' defensive system, but when you see guys that buy into it, and geez, they've reinvented themselves down back, they've found a position down back. Shaz wasn't even going to play down back until Brownie unfortunately went down in round 1. They threw him back. And look at this, a revelation in defence, a lot of run out of defensive skills are so handy. It's just great to watch, and Shep, look at his confidence, it's so good to see. Two good fellas playing such good footy.
They have blossomed this year. Josh Kennedy, you might have seen the 2 goals in the old goal column, very misleading game.
Doesn't tell the true story.
No, it doesn't. He worked his way up the ground very nicely on Saturday night. His tackling pressure and his work up, leading up, presenting, really did fire us up. What about his goal as well in the second quarter? Really did kickstart the boys. That came from a Brad Shepherd tackle back in the defensive half, but to get flattened like he did, he almost could have got weeks if he got him in the head there. It was very late, but he hasn't even thought about acting. He's just picked himself up and run in, snapped the goal, and gee, the 40,000 here at Domain were rocking.
That's the thing, mate. Like, North were all over him at the start, and they were playing very good football, and then someone needed to stand up, and it was our vice-captain, Josh Kennedy, colossal Kennedy, Captain Courageous. He went back with the flight, and geez, I mean, he could have been knocked into next week, but he took it like a champ, got up, kicked the snag, and it really lifted everyone, I think, and it was one of the key turning points in the game.
What about the goal review system in the very first moment of the game? It went through, and we're about to have the ball bounced, and then all of a sudden the umpires are calling it back. Are you happy with this technology? It happens in the break, so you don't really lose time. It was an amazing turnaround. Imagine that happening in the fourth quarter of a grand final, but that's what it's there for.
That's what it's there for, and that's the thing. They use those super-duper slow-mo cams. You can see the fingers beautifully, and Matty Prittis, just captain 1%, is just getting another one done there. So well done, Matty.
A couple of stiff umpiring decisions if you're a Roos fan. Probably not watching this show though, but it has to be said, the high contact on loose shoe in the third quarter from Nick Del Santo, not a lot in that one. And what about the trip where it had Brad Scott just hitting his head on the roof in the coach's box? Wasn't too happy, and they've probably got a point to argue. Could have kicked the goal, got him back to within 3 in striking distance in that fourth quarter.
Yep, 2 big decisions around legging blokes shaping the 2 prelims. Think about Freo Friday night. Suckling cops one eerily similar to the Shuey one. He gets the free, kicks him 55, almost breaks their back. Buddha falls over. Oh, is this in? No, doesn't give it. Mr. Margetts ends up pinging him as well, if you don't mind. And they don't get the shot on goal. So fine line between pressure and pain. Did I say pressure?
Yeah,
pleasure.
Yeah.
Fine line
plenty of pressure going on. Okay, we're going to go straight to the roast of the round. And geez, just let me get out the old scroll because there's a fair few of them here to get through. Let me kick it off, Benny, with the boundary umpire. He's gone to collect the footy, and he's got to have a big game as well because there's a GF on the line for this fella. Yeah. But he's tripped over the footy and looked like a bit of a muppet. So he'll probably have a spell next week. He can head to Bali.
Yeah, national stage, start planning the footy trip because when you do that on the big stage, unfortunately, you're not going to get it done. How about this one? Hilly, he's known for his pressure, and he went hard at the big Goldie here. One of the Brownlow favourites for tonight, mind you.
A little bit too hard.
A little bit too hard, fell over, and then Goldie's gone, mate, I'm going to put you back in your place. I'm going to sit on you.
Excellent. So, what about Xavier Ellis's accidental handball in the corridor, 20 metres out? Probably not the time to do the old look away behind you.
No, he claimed it too. I spope to him this morning. All there, he reckons.
No, I wouldn't have thought.
How about this one, mate? When's Oscar season?
Yeah, I'd say it's on the horizon.
That's in January. I think the couple of the Kangas boys were having one eye on January, the ceremony, because have a look at some of these diving and acting efforts with not much. So again, national stage, ordinary look.
They're all time. What about Brent Harvey, champion of the game, games record within his grasp. He's coming across here, drops the sitter of a mark, turns around and bakes his teammate. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Boomy. You're coming from side on, you got the angle, you just got to take that.
Mate, when you've played 400,000 games, you can blame anyone you like for anything.
Nah, push on with that one,
Don't
Brent.
like it.
I would have thought no.
What about the old out of bounds? Was this out of bounds? We had one against the Hawks a couple of weeks ago. People were up in arms.
I think Rose A to G were telling you as well out of bounds.
Yeah, a lot of advice for the umps, but boys, play to the whistle.
Rightio, we're going to go to Hutchings. I'm pretty sure, now I've been around this game a little bit, but I'm pretty sure you can't tackle someone. We're on the mark. But Hutchie, he's inventing new rules.
He invents his own rules, Hutchie. He brings his own rule book to the game, keeps it in his sock, and he's checked paragraph 2, section B. Hutchie is allowed to tackle whoever he wants, whenever he wants.
Rightio, we'll play it.
Do what you like, mate. Benny Brown, now, cult figure at North. Great hairdo.
Yeah, look good on you.
Number 50, you don't see that. The big Ryan Turnbull, probably the only one from our end of the stick. But how about this one? They're on top. They're ahead by about 5 or 6 points.
Yeah, 19 seconds to go.
Almost lace out. Bit high, but Benny Brown's a big boy. You got to take these. Bit stiff maybe, but geez, you got to make the most of your opportunities in finals.
All stiff runner-ups, Benny, but we've got the absolute
Piece
Nicholas.
of
Yeah, that's it. Nick Latinadinui. Now he can do what he wants on the sideline too. He's absolutely buried a bloke in a tackle here. Jack Zeeble not happy with the treatment. And he's treated him like an outdoor cat, mate. I'll just spray some water on the big panther and he'll scurry away.
No, you can't do that. It's
just sit on the bench.
Childish?
Yeah, very much so. I'm pretty sure under 9s in the old free ball days, that was acceptable.
Yeah.
Not on the big stage there. So Jack Zeeble, winner of the prelim roast of the round.
Enjoy that.
Great to have your company again.
Thanks, guys.
We will see you next week for the grand final Eagle review. Stay tuned for
Bye.
that one.